All right, well, Parliament is fully gearing up for the monsoon session, which begins tomorrow and will run till the 13th of August. The government convened at an all-party meeting today to brief the opposition on the agenda, with the BJP-led NDA holding a strong majority in the Lok Sabha and a clear edge in the Rajya Sabha. The ruling side is set to table 7 key bills, including the FCRA amendment and income tax changes. The opposition, on the other hand, is gearing up for strong protests and possible walkouts over multiple issues as a contentious session looms. With that, let's take a look at the 7 bills on the agenda and what the numbers are looking like for the NDA government. And then, of course, we'll speak with our guests and what they think about what's going to happen in the Parliament when the monsoon session starts tomorrow. Okay, the numbers game for the NDA. In the Lok Sabha, they have a total of 318 along with their allies. The BJP, of course, could not form the government with the clear majority. They have the support of the NCPI, rebel TMC MPs, the TDP, which supported them when the government was formed in 2024, the Shinde faction of the Shiv Sena, the JDU, the LJP, the JDS with 2 and others at 11. At this point in time, you have 318 as the number that the BJP is looking at when it comes to passing a number of bills. The numbers game again, Lok Sabha, total 184 is the opposition with the Congress at 98, the SP at 37, DMK at 22, the Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray at 3, the TMC, whatever is left of it, is at 8, the NCP at 8, the CPIM at 4, the RJD, IUML, AAP and others at 32. So, the opposition, of course, still has a considerable number. Could they play spoil sport? That is something that we'll also try and find out. In the Rajya Sabha, the BJP has 113 with the JDU, NCP, AIDMK, the TDP, the Shiv Sena and others totaling to 150. It's important to have this legislation or the bills passed in both the houses for it to become law. The opposition has 67, not a very handy number, with the INC, which is the Congress, at 28, DMK at 10, TMC, RJD, SP, CPIM and others at 8. So, obviously, there is a tilt that the BJP and the NDA can utilize. The Parliament monsoon session. What's on the agenda? With Foreign Contribution Regulation Amendment Bill, the FCRA bill to tighten NGO funding rules. The government contends that a lot of these NGOs are in fact taking in money and it is being misused for anti-national activities, something that has been contested in fact fiercely in the courts as well. Prevention of insults to national honor bill to protect Vande Mataram. This is also a contentious bill which is going to be introduced and we will see stricter. This is something good and it should in fact be implemented without much furor or problems. Moving on, there are other bills also in the fray which definitely need some sort of a mention. The Income Tax Amendment Bill to deepen sovereign debt market as well. This is something which has been done in consultation with various financial lobbies and experts who look into the income tax amendments and legislation improvement. The Supreme Court number of judges bill to replace existing ordinance. This talks about more judges being included in the fray, which is obviously up for contention in the Lok Sabha and Rajya Sabha as well. The MSME Development Amendment Bill for ease of doing business. Now, this is an important one, as ease of doing business was perhaps one of the very initial planks that the Modi government came in with. But so far, all what we get to hear is that doing business in India and for Indians is still a difficult process. The Viksit Bharat Shiksha Adhishtan bill to focus on education reforms as well. Education is big in this Parliament session, as you know, that after the NEET paper leak, this is obviously something which has come to light, that the education overall environment in the country is sacred and it needs to be given more time and more effort by the government. But detractors continue to say that the government has not done much when it comes to education, including with what is happening at Jantar Mantar with Sonam Wangchuk and his strike extending on for almost 3 weeks now. Let me in fact introduce our guest. Joining us on the show is Shekhar Vijayan, political analyst. Mr. Himanshu Bhatt, senior journalist, also joins us on the program. Shekhar, I'll begin with you. Well, a number of bills of course, a lot of them, Shekhar, to you and me and to observers, is business as usual. What's going to be on the agenda, what's going to be, in fact, be the nucleus of this session is obviously the reforms in education, specifically after some of the blunders which have taken place in the education system, in the education environment in the last few days. And also, what's happening in Jantar Mantar also goes on to tell you that the government in some way is feeling the pressure that reforms are imminent.
Absolutely. Vineet, thank you for having me over, and namaste to Himanshu ji also. Vineet, see, I think disruption has become very predictable. When India needs constructive confrontation and opposition that asks tough questions and a government that answers them. Now, this parliament works best when disagreement produces accountability, not adjournments. But I think the moot question here is what is going to happen in this monsoon session. This monsoon session is also an outcome of what's happened in the past. Government has an accountability and a responsibility to answer to its voters. The opposition has to make sure that their questions are heard, and it should not end up just in sound bites and video bites. I think what's important is what is the outcome for citizens like you and me. That's one. The second thing here, which is going to be really important, is what is the government trying to achieve in this monsoon session? Like you had mentioned, the bills which they've spoken about are very indigenous, very interesting bills, but they also need the support of the parties involved, and they need to have a proper discussion around it. There's been a lot of chatter. There's been a lot of what we have seen in the last few months. Even what's the outcome of it? It's not just going to be a regular, and it's also important for the government to take this pressure, because like they say, pressure is privilege, and use this pressure well, because they're going to
protest, which is the Southern Chalo.
It is something which is very, very important, where we demand accountability and responsibility from the education minister. But there needs to be moves forward. And I think the most important thing is the government has to provide answers here.
The stance
that tussle, as it happens every time in the Bharatiya Parliament, Indian Parliament, I'm sorry to state that opposition stages a walkout, and by staging a walkout without thinking what they are doing, they will provide an opportunity for the government to pass some critical bills or bring a surprise of introducing some critical bills and pass them maybe, where some of the opposition parties like Samajwadi Party or DMK will, purposely abstain from the house.
Okay, we have some breaking news coming in. We need to break for that. All right, breaking news coming in now.